Are you thinking about buying an apartment as an investment property? If so, then stop. The next few minutes is for you. Hi, I'm Nirothambi Pillay, and in this video, I want to talk about the 3 major dangers right now of investing into the apartment market. If you've been following my work for a while, you know that I'm not into hype, I'm not into headlines. I'm all about data, I'm all about facts. So that's what I want to show you right now. The first major danger with investing in apartments is the massive oversupply that's coming online right now. Do you know how many apartments are set to be built in the next 2 years alone? Well, CoreLogic, who's one of the major research companies who I pay attention to, reported this. On the 16th of May 2016, they said there are 231,129 apartments set to be complete. That's more than the average number of apartments that was sold each year for the past 5 years. So what happens if there are more apartments being built than were actually sold? Well, now you've got an oversupply. You've got too many apartments out there for people who want to buy them. And what's that going to do to prices? Well, the media headlines talking about prices crashing, I'm not necessarily so sure. What I think you'll find is that developers will just hold those properties for as long as they can before they sell, so they don't have to sacrifice on prices. But whatever's said and done, you're not going to get the capital growth that you want. And remember, capital growth should be the major goal of every single investor. So if you're looking to invest right now, just the number of apartments coming online around Australia, primarily in Sydney, Melbourne and Brisbane, it's going to cause you all sorts of headaches with prices, when there's too many apartments, trying to get them rented. Tenants are going to be able to negotiate rent, so you're going to have to bring your rent down. You may have to give incentives. All of a sudden, you're going to start forking out money hand over fist for these apartments. Secondly, let's have a look at the expected growth in the apartment market over the next 3 years. Now, this is from the source BIS Shrapnel, or BIS Shrapnel. It's another research agency that I pay a lot of attention to. So let's look at Sydney market. What's expected with apartments in Sydney? Over the next 3 years, they're expecting growth of -5%. Yep, they're expecting prices in Sydney in the apartment market to drop, okay? Most people say, well then, not Sydney, let's go to Melbourne. Well, Melbourne's actually ahead. Melbourne, in a bad way, Melbourne's expected to drop by 8%, so -8% growth in the apartment market. Brisbane, -6%. Oh, and Perth, if you decide to go all the way to the other end of the country, also -5%. Does investing in apartments right now sound like exciting to you? See, these are facts. This is not hype. This is not headlines. These are research companies out there who put their money where their mouth is. So if you don't want to be investing in apartments, I really recommend you don't, because right now you may as well put your money in the bank, because in investing in an apartment, unfortunately, it's a license to lose money right now. But the third reason is that many of these apartments, they're sold as off the plan opportunities. So you lock in a price today, and then in a few years' time, or in whatever period of time elapses, then you settle on the purchase. Now, the problem is if the values have gone backwards, or more importantly, if banks have changed their lending criteria, you may not be able to borrow as much as you thought. And in fact, a few months ago, when I went to a meeting of some of the major lenders around Australia, you know what they said? They said, we're trying to do our best to reduce the number of loans, reduce the loan to value ratio on apartments. Put simply, that means banks are saying, we don't want any more apartments. We think there's too many out there. So if the banks are saying that as well, if the data is saying that, if the growth rate is expected to be negative, why would you want to look at an apartment? So okay, Nero, you say then, if we can't buy apartments, does that mean we don't invest in property at all? Not at all. What you want to look for is houses or dwellings with land on them, like townhouses, because ultimately it's land that goes up in value, because they're not building any more land. But you might be thinking, well, you can't afford a house in Sydney. And I wouldn't, even if you could, I wouldn't be recommending buying a house in Sydney or in Melbourne right now. The rental returns are shocking. However, there are some great growth opportunities right now around the country. And if you'd like assistance with investing in a house, something with land on it, buying in areas that have got great growth potential that people like John McGrath are saying is the only areas he'd be investing in right now, then here's what I'd like you to do. Click the button below. You'll be taken to a page where there'll be a video of a case study of how we helped a client buy 3 investment properties in 4 years when they didn't think they could afford one. And then if you like what you heard in this video, if you like what you hear in the case study, you can book in for a complimentary consult with me personally, where we'll go through some opportunities that are right for you. If that sounds interesting, click the button below. I hope this video has been helpful. I hope it's highlighted some of the dangers of investing in apartments right now and why you want to stay clear of it. If you've got any questions or comments, please let me know below this video. Bye for now.